Jesus Christ, in addition to a full 46 seconds of logos, DC is now turning to a Marvel-style showpiece that checks all their characters. And if that weren't bad enough, they have the balls to include f***ing Green Lantern. Also, DC Comics.
Can we ask you some questions? It's for our podcast.
Listen, there'll be a few times that I'm going to compare this to a much better Marvel movie, so strap in. Ready? Okay. Discount Spider-Man Homecoming opening.
A man I used to say that hope is like your car keys. Easy to lose, but if you dig around, it's usually close by.
So let's review. The S on Superman's uniform is not an S, but it's a symbol that stands for hope. And much like your car keys, hope is usually close by. Except when Superman is saving someone in France while you're in the middle of the woods trying to start your Jeep Wrangler to get away from rednecks, the axe-wielding redneck. Then your car keys are not usually close by. Gave them to Steve Zahn, who was thrown into the S-shaped Hope River near Kent Falls. So I think I understand your simile. I've never seen a production studio named as a direct warning of a movie before. Zack Snyder awesomely depicts the news that Superman is dead by showing us a newspaper that pigeons are pooping on hourly, which is about as much respect as I have for the nonsense ending of Batman v Superman. Oh, cool! Someone's committing a blatant crime in Gotham City. I love it when they play the hits. I hope they do. Bruce's parents die after this one. Brings the house down. I'm positive Batman had scoped out this building and found that no one was behind this window that he's goading the thug into shooting at. Safety first, that bats. You know what I love best about the Batman action of the previous films? The copious use of slow motion. Batman jumps off a building, assuming that when he tackles a parademon in midair, it will be able to take on the new weight and keep flying. Also, after all this, Batman ends up on top of the same building? How the f*** did that happen?
What the hell?
No, Jeremy, you're supposed to be in character when you say this line.
Good. It's time then.
Well, it's really only time for Batman and Wonder Woman, but you wanted to go ahead and challenge the Avengers franchise, even though there are no solo movies for the other three yet. Look, I know the whole world loves Superman and all, but hanging a banner on Notre Dame? Not only is there no fucking way that would happen, look how shitty the execution is. Also, these banners are hanging in honor of Superman's death, but I'm cynical enough to think it's DC advertising for the next Superman movie. This absolutely nothing scene shown in the opening credits illustrates that when you enjoy putting slow motion in your movies too much, you rob it of any impact it can have. The idea that this asshole kicking a fruit cart scene is on some slow motion level of drama is goddamn infuriating. And hilarious. Somehow, Joss Whedon found future footage of himself in 2026 and included it in this movie.
Excuse me.
Aw, what an extremely politely British way to die. I know this movie's gotten a lot of flack for upskirting, but honestly, I think the amount of upsuiting is overlooked. Look, all I'm saying is Wonder Woman is shot completely different in this movie than when a woman was at the helm. And no, I am not above perviness, but this movie isn't Red Shoe Diaries' Wonder Woman of Desire, an unproduced script I wrote in 1995 under the pseudonym Johnny Spokes. This is a movie where Wonder Woman is an equal superhero to all the men, and it's guaranteed we won't be seeing any dudes filmed in a similar manner.
Back to the Dark Ages and the safety of Holy Fear.
Fucking what? If dude knows for sure they're gonna blow shit up, why even use a timer? Isn't a timer for motherfuckers who want to escape? Okay, Wonder Woman, you can stop posing and defeat evil now. Wonder Woman! The following scene is ruined by no less than 10 cuts back and forth between Wonder Woman doing her acrobatics and Roose Bolton shooting at her, not to mention how she manages to block bullets while she's turned the other way, and since when can Wonder Woman do Flash stuff anyway? Meanwhile, on a different ridiculously expensive set, also Bruce rides in on a horse, walks some distance to a cliff, and I guess he ends up rappelling down this thing to a town where people know Aquaman. But this is Bruce Wayne. The idea that he couldn't find this place through the air or by some special glacier-busting batship to land closer to it is ludicrous.
The Aquaman. I hear you can talk to fish.
I can't wait to see how Aquaman's sea powers somehow factor into beating an army of flying parademons from space that probably get sick when they go near water anyway.
I don't mind if the ocean dries.
How about if they boil?
Dressed like a bat. You're out of your mind, Bruce Wayne.
Are they having three separate discussions here that have nothing to do with one another? Is there a reason that this version of Alfred dresses like he ordered everything from the Eddie Bauer catalog? I mean, cargo pants? Seriously?
One misses the days when one's biggest concerns were exploding wind-up penguins.
Wait, are they saying this movie is in the same timeline as Batman Returns? Because that raises a lot of questions.
Hurry it up, will ya?
Haha, get it? Because he's the Flash? And this guy doesn't know he's the Flash? But seriously, what is it about superheroes where they end up running into the biggest assholes on Earth and they aren't even looking for them?
You can have a life.
All these characters, so little time. Whatever is coming that requires such a team apparently can be beaten easily with all this backstory to cover. And they haven't even tried to resurrect Superman or fight him yet. Essentially, they let the comic book fans fill in the gaps for caring about these characters, lazily introducing them and dropping them off at a movie theater while their parents shopped at the mall.
Didn't think you were ready for them to...
What? For them to see the monster.
You are not
a monster.
It's weird that you thought I meant me.
Not really. The logical discussion you were having about you and what others might feel when they see you definitely made it sound like you were talking about being a monster. Oh, cool. Themsparkivia. Thimbleskinny. Timby Thummingnut. Why couldn't they just name this shit Amazon Island? Yeah, man, if that box opens, we're gonna shoot the out of it with arrows. Also, a warm welcome to Steppenwolf, the main baddie that you will forget as soon as this movie is over. I honestly didn't think the CGI baddies could get any worse than Doomsday, especially ones that are essentially humanoid, but DC once again finds a way. A bunch of parademons come through a portal, and they start shooting up the place, and a whole bunch of whatever occurs. I'd almost rather the director put up an old-timey silent film intertitle up on screen that says, "Bam, Kazooie, the Amazons get pwned," rather than watch a dreary action piece like this take place. Also, I watched this action scene frame by frame just to get a sense of what this film thinks it's showing us, and I've ultimately decided that nobody who made this film really knows either. Seeing the mother box get lassoed away makes me wonder why Steppenwolf didn't just grab it and run. He landed right next to it. He has a nifty portal. Why all the trouble fighting the Amazons?
Keep it moving!
What the hell is this plan? Give the all-important life box to some character we've never met, then tell her to ride really fast that way? Was this really the only contingency plan they had for this box for the last several thousands of years? Oh no, the Allspark! The Tesseract! the Rabbit's Foot! Mother box is out in the open! So wait, does an arrow have the load-bearing capability to pull something as heavy as the mother box as it flies through the air? Also, mother box. Also, I guess this is actually a clever plan, but what the are these ladies doing all the way up there? They know they don't have the box, and they could have actually been helpful in the fight back by Steppenwolf. Did they seriously expect these arrow shenanigans to work, or are we just going for a cool shot with no thought behind? Oh. Where the were all these Amazons while Steppenwolf was trying to take the box? If he even had half these soldiers standing outside while Steppenwolf tried to chase after the relay racers, they could have ended this. Does this movie explain how Steppenwolf can use the Bifrost at any time or place that he wants? I'm sure there's a comic explanation in New Gods #1 from 1970, but if I'm gonna look that up.
Men won't know what it means. Men won't. She will.
Damn it, Queen, this is no time to be playing the pronoun game.
This janitor's wife had some strong words for the aliens she says stole her man.
What's with the glib attitude, man? Everyone in the world knows aliens exist now, from Superman, Doomsday, Zon, so why treat this woman like she's crazy? An alien that only comes down to probe some random dude is the least of your worries. Also, movie has time for this. And yeah, I know this story is about the janitor at Cyberdyne, Star Labs, but the fact that they decided to update us in tabloid fashion with his foul-mouthed wife makes his disappearance mean even less to me.
You know the banks. Jump like a cougar if you miss by a dime.
Jump like a cougar if you miss by a dime.
Well, I'll see if she'll take your call.
So it's a she.
That's racist.
It was, hard coming back here at all.
I can imagine. After Arrival and Nocturnal Animals, this must have seemed like amateur hour.
He said you could smell a story further away than he could hear.
Speaking of hearing, they're having a pretty casual conversation about Lois's relationship with Superman here, even though Martha's known as Clark Kent's mom. So anyone that's half eavesdropping, which should be pretty common in a newsroom, should have had the biggest scoop in years right about now.
It was about seeing the engine of the world when it still ran.
I swear to God, 80% of the first 30 minutes of this movie is main character has one-on-one conversation with side character about something sad. Ah, his headlight went from blue to red. He's been iRoboted. Run, Shia! Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I was replacing the hose on this giant aircraft that I work on all by myself, and yet it still runs perfectly. It's boring, but it's part of my life.
You know, I paid millions of dollars for this building's security.
Yeah, it looked expensive.
I guess Diana has ninja powers now, too. She can crack Bruce's, aka Batman's, security system without being detected. Did she have time to learn that?
They called him Steppenwolf. The end of worlds.
He was a long way from the rockin' sounds of Magic Carpet Ride and Born to be Wild. But sometimes you can find inspiration from the destruction of planets.
Nightmare creatures who feed on fear.
These so-called nightmare creatures significantly lose their nightmare status when you see them flying around like gnats wielding laser guns. Also, do they really feed on fear? Don't they just do what they're told? They did okay against the Amazons, and I don't find them to be a particularly fearful group.
I have no idea what's in the power.
They don't contain power. They are power.
Oh!
Allies from other worlds.
How did you get the lanterns to show up during this battle? Or did they just show up on their own? This whole movie is like a crash course while we literally watch the DCEU crash to the ground.
Some say it drove him mad. The disgrace of his first retreat.
Yeah, but wasn't he already a little crazy? Like, didn't you just say his sole purpose was to conquer fools? Do you get any madder than that?
Both sealed and guarded in secure strongholds.
Okay, fine. You had the forethought to separate the mother boxes and put them into secure strongholds, but why on display like museum artifacts? And why not try to destroy them? Burn them in the fires of Mount Doom?
The box of man was buried in secret.
Why the didn't the lanterns take the box? You left a powerful artifact in the hands of fucking regular-ass dudes, and they're burying it in a van down by the river.
We're asking people we don't know to risk their lives.
What the was that story you just told about all the heroes banding together to fight Steppenwolf? Were all those people friends before then? Quicksilver or Flash or Neo is doing something really fast, so we have to slow it down to show their perspective cliche.
What is brunch? You wait in line for an hour for essentially lunch.
Jesus Christ, Barry is arguably the best thing about this movie, but the poor guy's gotta read bad stand-up lines like this to make him seem extra nerdy. Diana and Victor meet face to face, but why here? Why in public?
No one else can do what you do.
How would Diana know this? Cyborg himself doesn't even know what he can do, and it's not like this is a set of powers that anyone's seen before.
I do fine alone.
I told myself the same for a long time.
Yep, and so did literally every protagonist in this movie, at least once.
I lost someone I loved once.
You might say that I pined for him. Also, look, I know the power of love better than anyone except Huey Lewis, but Steve died 100 years ago. Just because the movie came out 5 months before this doesn't mean Diana has to still be hung up on that asshole.
What's this from the sky?
Why would the parademons attack a fishing boat when they've discovered the location of the mother box underwater? I guess we've got to inform Aquaman of the impending danger somehow, but the wanton destruction of these parademons makes no sense. Geez, you'd think someone close to the ocean would be more concerned about littering. If the parademons tore through that fisherman's boat and Aquaman saved him, took him back to the bar and had a drink before coming back to Atlantis, why aren't they already here? Is there any real explanation as to how Steppenwolf knows exactly where these mother boxes are on Earth? And if he can transport with impunity, why did it take him so long to get to Atlantis? And why are all the armies caught completely unaware? Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm sure it's all addressed in the Snyder Cut. Huh, looks like Amber heard a noise. Apparently, Aquaman's abilities underwater include punching and kicking. Holy that was easy. There were like 3 people in Atlantis guarding the supposedly super well-guarded mother box. They might as well have done what the humans did. These assholes need to create a space without water to communicate? This is some goddamn bullshit. Where's the underwater telepathy? What makes these heroes so special underwater?
The firstborn of beloved Queen Atlanta.
Are you guys going to address the fact that the mother box was stolen and that's a huge development? We saw the Amazons fight hard to keep it in their possession, and the Atlanteans? About as tenacious as an Atlanta team in the playoffs.
Mother, I see why you waited to summon me. The Kryptonian's death plunged this timid world into such terror.
Superman is overrated. There. I've said it. Not only was there a time Superman didn't exist, and it would have made the most sense for the mother boxes to call you then, but even when Superman was saving people on the regular, most people never got help from him. He couldn't be everywhere at once, and he spent most of his time in Metropolis. You also have to factor in all the people who were scared that Superman existed because of what it meant for the world at large. That's why Batman v Superman was like watching C-SPAN for 3 hours.
Find the last one!
Wait, is he asking the minions to do this? Hasn't Steppenwolf found the other 2 pretty much on his own? Is he really outsourcing now?
Suspect was a giant bat with huge fangs.
Oh, amazing DC Marvel crossover here as J. Jonah Jameson finally makes his appearance. Can't wait until there's a power struggle between he and Perry White during the Daily Planet Daily Bugle merger. What a visually arresting shot. Tells the story of Bruce Wayne deboarding his private jet in an uncertain world of Gal Gadasses. Batman jumps down from this gargoyle as he is wont to do. But why did Wonder Woman and Flash show up to the rooftop like normal people? Why did Batman need the grand entrance at all? Do you think Commissioner Gordon wants to tell Batman, cut the man? I've seen you 100 times. Your does not impress me anymore.
These lead back to Braxton Island, between the 2 cities.
Because, in case you forgot that bullshit from the last movie, Gotham and Metropolis are separated by a very short distance, with just a small body of water between them.
Do you really think that—
While I understand Batman and Wonder Woman have methods, does f***ing Cyborg have the ability to leave stealthily? It all sets up this pretty funny Flash moment, I guess.
You've been near the mother box. Her scent is on you.
Strange that Steppenwolf wasn't all over Star Labs from the very beginning if he can smell the mother box, which, by the way, ew. But even more important, if the mother box cries out for him, why hasn't he found Cyborg, a guy made from the mother box, faster than this? That guy is here right now. Just tell me the rules. First off, how does Flash make everything he touches go as fast as him? Second, if he has to wear the suit to stop from catching fire, why didn't Silas? Third, doesn't Silas now have all the whiplash? Man, this parademon is kicking Batman's ass. Just imagine if there were more than one of them attacking at the same time.
Heads up!
Thanks, Alfred. But I'll take it from here.
Please keep firmly in mind that the all-mother-f***ing powerful Steppenwolf is literally sitting there with his thumb up his ass while the Justice League snaps pithy one-liners. Oh, cool. Aquaman showed up. Was he just waiting outside the tunnel hoping that someone would blow a big hole in it so that he could join the other Justice Leaguers?
You are a distraction. Mother is calling.
Then why the hell did you bring all those humans here to find out where the mother box is? Shouldn't you go find them?
Did he just bail?
Yes, and while you were virtually in the same amount of peril from the rising floodwater as a few seconds ago. Yet we will advance to the next scene without acknowledging any of that.
All he needs now is the last box of men.
She doesn't already have it.
He doesn't have it.
But I decided to take it out of its hiding place and show it to you guys out in the open. It was doing fine where it was, but I figured I'd ramp up the danger some more. The parademons are all surrounding this house with the Russian family in it, but how are they kept from going inside? Sure, they boarded up their windows and barricaded the doors, but last we saw them, the windows were not boarded up, and they would have been easy for parademons to break and access. I also call bullshit on barricades and boarded up windows keeping these guys from breaking in, so all of this is worthless to me. Goddamn, even the elevator ride to the Batcave looks fake as shit. Why would you choose to make your elevator ride look fake as shit, movie?
You have no idea what kind of power you're dealing with.
Even if there's a fraction of a chance.
Jesus Christ, Bruce. What is it with you and your low percentage chances? Last time you said some bullshit that if there was even a 1% chance of Superman being an enemy, you had to take it as an absolute certainty. Now you think you can control a mother box to resurrect the very same Superman because there might be a fraction of a chance without even thinking of the potential consequences?
Technology is like any other power. Without reason, without heart, it destroys us.
Like the iPhone.
We are not enough.
Yeah, but it seems like you are, though. Let's look at this objectively and forget that a Justice League movie without Superman is like Journey without Steve Perry. Sure, it's not quite the same, but it's still got a lot of people who can get the job done. Like, if the writers came up with a way that this crew could win with all the resources Bruce has, along with the combined superpowers of all the others, you'd be sold on that, right? And Arnel Pineda might not have super strength, but tell me he can't fly when he sings Open Arms.
You lose something when you die. Maybe his soul.
I'll have a contingency plan for that.
Lois. It's Lois. Even though Aquaman's literally talking about Supes losing the part that would allow him to recognize the people he loves, it's fucking Lois.
I swear I would never
say it.
I'm pretty sure this is Amazonian for skip. What kind of assholes would let the one picture Clark was buried with fall into the goddamn goo? It's not like they didn't see that. It's pretty hilarious to me that they're pushing Clark down into this, still wearing the suit from his funeral. Not only will he return as Superman, but he'll also have a dangerous fashion sense that will make evildoers cower in fear.
The mother box is ready. You have to charge it the moment it touches the fluid.
It's not that Flash can't get there the moment the box hits the fluid. It's that there's a hilariously arbitrary deadline in the first place. Wow, cool. The supers must have timed their caper to happen just before dawn, since it's now daylight, and they went in when it was super dark. Also, let me get this straight. What is the timeline of this movie? They met with Gordon on the roof right before they attacked Steppenwolf in the harbor, so those events happened on the same night. Then later that night, they got the mother box leading to the confrontation in the Batcave, which I guess happened the next morning since it's light outside, even though, you know, it's in a cave. Then we smash cut to Flash and Cyborg in Kansas digging up Clark's grave later that night, and finally we journey back to Metropolis, which is definitely not Gotham, for the Supermanazons at the end of that night. So movies both telling me all this happened within roughly 24 hours and that Steppenwolf has been doing jack the whole time. Glad Superman is alive, so that now this movie can officially start 35 minutes before it ends. But where did the rest of his suit go? Well, at least it kept his pants. Wonder Woman definitely would have been PG-13 naked if she went through this. Hey, guys, very important mother box to retrieve. It landed on somebody's car. Hello? Very important f***ing thing. Okay, this is an example of how fun this movie could be, and so we will knock off a sin for this very good moment from a not-so-great film. What the hell took Batman this long? I know he doesn't have the super speed that the others have, but it's the length of a public park, man. What happened to all that CrossFit he did in the last movie?
Clark! I know you.
Why is Clark pissed off at Bruce again? Sure, they had that big fight in BVS, but by the end of that movie, they banded together and had no problems working to take Doomsday out. So his last memory should be all like, hey, did we win? Say Martha, man. Just say Martha.
Clark.
Thank God they gave Lois more to work with in this movie than just to facilitate. I'm sorry. I couldn't say that with a straight face. Well, Supes is awake. I guess we'll give him all the time he needs to get his head straight and hope that Steppenwolf will wait to enact his final plan when he's ready to roll.
The mother box.
No shit. No fucking shit. This should have been mission number 1A after it flew out of Star Labs. At least mission number 1B. It's not like all of you had to ogle Superman's awesome abs.
So you can't find them? Or maybe you don't want to.
Since this keeps happening in every fucking movie, I'll go all caps. Protagonists have unnecessary fight before the climax of the movie cliche. Sure, the fate of the world hangs in the balance, but at least there's time for Clark to meditate and some corn. Seriously, this movie has 25 minutes left. Steppenwolf is probably the least villain ever.
I'm the idiot who left, but I'm back now.
Glad these two are reconciling, but that's gonna be a pretty awkward mustache ride.
You called Mom.
Whatever you want to call it, dude. I guess it's gotta be weird to get your first post-death boner.
Bruce.
Fate of the world. I think that's the deal. He was pretty tense.
Well, I guess I do owe one.
So they're fucking cool now? Sure, Lois cleared some cobwebs for Clark here, but within minutes he's gone from homicidal to chummy with bats, and here I didn't think a bullshit reconciliation could get any more annoying than the end of Civil War.
Praise to the mother of horrors.
Man, this shit's slow, right? The last time Steppenwolf had the Unity, they had to stop it right away, or the planet would go to literal hell. But this time he's taking so much time that a random village family can escape in that town.
I've been a loner my whole life, but being part of something bigger like this.
This is ultimately one of the very few bright spots of humor in this movie, but it all depends on A, Wonder Woman just laying her lasso down anywhere, B, Aquaman not seeing that magical before he sits down, C, the lasso activating even though it's not lassoing anything, and D, his ass completely covering the rope so that we don't have the reveal until after his speech. Seriously, who the is this family? And why do they matter? I've honestly lost count, but I'm gonna estimate this is the 143rd hero shot in this movie.
I'm gonna take out that tower and knock down that shield dome.
Wait, you mean that thing is powered by some sort of tower? It is truly insane when a powerful ancient character needs a tower to create a shield dome. Making a hole in the shield is way too easy. Taking out the tower is way too easy. I thought the parademons were attracted to fear, not sound. In fact, didn't this sound just make the parademon go crazy? So why would it pursue the sound? Yeah, maybe to destroy whatever is making it, sure. But you set these things up to follow fear and ended up making them simply annoyed by police sirens.
You won't last 3 minutes.
Hey, how does she know that? Did she talk to the ballerina Bruce brought to dinner in The Dark Knight? While I watch Aquaman wrestle with these parademons, I'm at a total loss as to what he can actually do in this battle that is not in water. So is he just like really strong or something? Is that it? Couldn't Bruce have hired John Cena to be in the Justice League?
Thanks for the lift.
Since when does Cyborg, who moves pretty fast, need Flash to take him anywhere? You know what I wanted to see from this movie? Batman stealing a gun and using it to off bug creatures. That's how you put asses in the seats.
You're all too weak to see the truth.
Well, I believe in truth, but I'm also a big fan of justice.
Thank God Steppenwolf set him up. Superman's been thinking up this entrance line the whole way over here.
All right.
Oh man, Jason Momoa has officially become the Will Smith of the Justice League. Oh no, if only Steppenwolf would try any of his tricks instead of punching or kicking, considering he's like pretty much a god, right?
Civilians.
There he's headed.
There's too many of them.
Dude, can't Wonder Woman use her newly formed Flash powers that we saw at the beginning of this movie to help Barry while you easily dispose of Steppenwolf? And why didn't you just go ahead and disable that guy when you had the chance?
Slowpoke.
Exhibit 67,009 of Superman being way too powerful is him being able to keep up with the Flash. What makes Flash special if Superman can do the same thing? I mean, all he's got now is that he can make an electrical charge, but I'm sure if Superman starts wearing fur, he can accomplish that in short order too. So Barry helped the only family we're supposed to care about in the truck, and Superman saved a whole apartment complex? Was someone driving the apartment complex? These are supposedly people who were trying to get out of town, right? So Steppenwolf is just no longer difficult, huh? He was kicking everyone's ass before Superman showed up. But now that Supes is out of the picture again, Wonder Woman and Aquaman can hold their own with very little trouble.
Booyah.
Teen Titans, no. Now that they took out Steppenwolf, the village immediately turns into the Shimmer from Annihilation. I really f***ing hate this family. Looks like Bruce decided to pay for the Kent farm so that Martha could have her house back. Just wondering though, why didn't he do this sooner? I know it was cool to pay for the funeral in the last movie, and maybe he thought he'd done enough, but it was clearly a dick move to not do this before now.
Darkness. The truest darkness.
Late movie Lois Lane narration. Here's the Rocky 3 ending for nerds.
All right, stop joking around, Luthor. I'm gonna have to come in there.
So Lex broke out of the Supermax prison, smuggled a dude in that looked like him, then escaped onto his yacht to set up a meeting with Deathstroke? Why couldn't we have seen that instead of this movie?
Shouldn't we have a league of our own?
As long as the characters are never developed and are thrown into a 2-hour movie and we're supposed to just know what their powers are, I'm all in.
You're out of order! You're out of order! The whole trial is out of order!
Did you know that Batman servers were once hacked by the Legion of Doom, nearly toppling the Justice League? If only Bruce Wayne had been running NordVPN at the time.
Look, it's all a bit technical.
NordVPN, that's Virtual Private Network, uses their military-grade encryption services to keep your information safe from hackers, malware, and the Legion of Doom. And for a limited time, you can get 75% off a 3-year plan at nordvpn.com/CinemaSins. If you use the code CinemaSins at checkout, you can get an extra month of service for free. Use that extra cash to buy yourself something fancy.
3 words for you. Treat yourself.
NordVPN also offers 24/7 customer support and is totally risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're like me and spend too much time in the weirdest corners of the internet, or you're just trying to keep Wonder Woman's secret identity under wraps, then you really need to check out NordVPN. Go to nordvpn.com/CinemaSins and use code CinemaSins to keep your browsing secure for just $2.99 a month and an extra month for free. Don't be like Batman. Protect yourself online today.
It began with the forging of the Great Rings. 3 were given to the elves, 7 to the dwarf lords, and 9 rings were gifted to the race of men.
Holy Toledo! Somebody had fun.
The lasso of Hastia compels you to
Power of Christ compels you!
feed on fear.
Sight meat's back on the menu, boy!
There were horses and a man on fire, and I killed a guy with a trident.